numbers, President Biden after 2 years in office. On Friday, Joe Biden completes his second year in office. Since his inauguration, there have been 730 days, along with numerous additional numbers. According to the numbers, the first half of Biden's administration has been a mixed bag. It contains both the undesirable milestone of historic inflation as well as the long-desired $1 trillion package to support the country's bridges, roads, and other infrastructure. Although there have been many COVID-19 immunizations, the disease has claimed the lives of close to 680,000 people. Biden has traveled to 32 states, and he has spent approximately 200 days entirely or partially in his native state of Delaware. A review of some illuminating statistics at the 46th president's halfway point. 6.5% annual inflation is still persistently high, but it is gradually decreasing after peaking in June at 9.1%, the highest level in 4 decades. 10.46 million. According to the most recent Labor Department data, there are more than 10 million open positions in the United States, or almost 1.8 jobs for every unemployed individual. 3.5% unemployment rate is a 53-year low. There have been none so far. When Biden began office, the federal debt totaled $27.6 trillion, or $31.38 trillion. The amount of money the U.S. has committed to providing Ukraine with security support since the Russian invasion some 11 months ago is $24.2 billion. 38. The quantity of HIMARS, or high-mobility artillery rocket systems, that Ukraine has agreed to receive. A game-changer that enables Ukrainian soldiers to drive away before artillery can target them and strike at Russian targets from a distance. 2.38 million. For the 12 months ending September 30, 2022, Customs and Border Protection reported stopping migrants at the American border about 2.4 million times, an increase that set a record and was mostly due to large increases in Venezuelans, Cubans, and Nicaraguans. 1.66 million was the previous peak, reached in 2021. 97. Biden's nominees for the federal bench have been confirmed, surpassing the rates of the president's 2 immediate predecessors and includes Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. 89. The president has already pardoned 9 people and commuted the sentences of 80 others, significantly more than any of his recent predecessors. By this point, George W. Bush had given 7 and Donald Trump 11. During his first 2 years in office, Barack Obama did not grant any clemency. $3.36. Since peaking at $5.02 per gallon in June, the average price that American drivers spend at the pump has decreased. In the week before Biden assumed office, the average gas price for drivers was $2.39. The number of COVID-19 immunizations given to Americans under Biden was 666 million. The insult was delivered to 20 million before Biden took president. It was not until late in Trump's term that the vaccination was approved. The proportion of Americans aged 5 and older who have received the most recent bivalent vaccine is 15.9%. The number of confirmed deaths from the coronavirus epidemic during Biden's presidency was 680,000. By the time of Biden's inauguration, the worst pandemic in more than a century had claimed more than 400,000 American lives, and it had claimed 1.1 million lives overall by March 2020. 36. Biden has visited numerous states to advance his program, but he still needs to visit Wyoming, Arkansas, Indiana, Kansas, Maine, Mississippi, Montana, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Tennessee, Utah, and Vermont. 197. Nothing compares to being at home. According to an AP count, the president spent all or a portion of 197 days in his home state of Delaware, making trips most weekends to either his residence close to Wilmington or his vacation house in Rehoboth Beach. He has made brief travels for funerals, policy gatherings, and Democratic primary elections in addition to regular weekend visits. 6. Since the beginning of his presidency, Biden has had 6 phone conversations with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Except for one, these were all phone or video calls. In November, they had a face-to-face encounter while attending a summit in Indonesia. The minimal number of occasions in which Biden has publicly reminisced about a private chat he had with Xi while Biden was vice president in China is 22. According to Biden, when Xi asked him to explain America, he gave the answer in a single word: possibilities. During a celebration this week for the NBA champion Golden State Warriors, Biden even managed to fit in the anecdote. 21. At the same stage of their presidencies, Biden held fewer solo or combined news conferences than his three most recent predecessors. The bipartisan infrastructure bill introduced by Vice President Biden, which is likely the greatest major legislative accomplishment of his first 2 years in office, includes $1 trillion in funding for roads, bridges, ports, and other projects. The infrastructure plan includes $40 billion for bridge repairs and construction, making it the single largest devoted investment in bridges since the development of the interstate highway system under Eisenhower. According to the White House, there are 43,000 bridges in the United States that are rated as being in need of repair. 1. French President Emmanuel Macron was recognized at the president's Seoul State banquet afar. Due to concerns about COVID-19, Biden pushed back on some of the customary pomp and partying at the White House in the beginning of his presidency. That's what we can say. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so that this channel can continue to exist. Thank you for following and I hope it's useful.